Hi, I'm Gordy, Northern Rifle Accurizing. Here at the shop we do a lot with vintage military rifles. In the past, most of the military rifles you've probably seen have been ones that somebody has sporterized and chopped all up and stuck a scope on them, and they're a long ways from being original. So what we've ended up doing, in order to get good shootable vintage military rifles, is we've had to build all of our own rifles. Here we build basically anything anything in the U.S. military line. We a lot of times start out with a receiver. This one here is a P17 receiver. I pick these up any place I can, ones that haven't been altered. Most of the time they're already been chopped all up. But what we end up doing, we find a good receiver to work with, and then we use a replacement barrel, because what we want to do is end up with a good quality shootable rifle. We have a lot of vintage rifle matches here and in most parts of the country. We've got a lot of the CMP matches, and there your rifle has to be exactly the same as GI issue rifles. So we make sure that everything is exactly the same as it was on our rifles. We make sure that the barrels are exact GI contoured barrels. They're very good quality barrels, and we do magnesium sulfide parkerizing on them so that they will look exactly the same as they did from Springfield Armory. The wood is exactly the same as GI issue. A lot of the wood is from the CMP itself, so it is exactly right. These are excellent shooting rifles. We do basically all of them. This one here is an 03A3. We do the 03 Springfields too, but they're getting really tough to find. That's the 03A3 Springfield. Showing you these actions here. P17. We started out with a bare action on this one here, and this is now a P17 rifle, 30-06. This one here was originally it was done a P14. The British couldn't build enough rifles, so they had Remington build rifles for them, and they were called a P14. They were in a 303 British, and we actually build the P14 also. We've got one of these is in the process of coming along in the 303. The regular P17 is 30-06. When the U.S. got into the war, they started making these in 30-06 for U.S. consumption, and this is a real nice piece of walnut, exactly the same as what the originals were, and then we have to find all the hardware to make them back to original, and that's P17. We also, I showed you that's the 03A3, and then we do a lot with the M1s. There again too, the M1, we start out with a bare receiver, and then we put on a Criterion barrel, excuse me, and then we put on new wood, and we do all finishing. It's a hand rub tongue oil finish. Tongue oil is what what was used during World War II. All the metal parts are reparkerized, and these get to be excellent shooting rifles. And of course, like I said, we make sure that these are regular mil-spec rifles so that you can use them in a CMP match and won't have any trouble with that. But we will accurize these, glass bed them, and do some other things on these rifles too, if you want something that that shoots a little bit better. And then also, along with our regular vintage military rifles, we do all of these in the sniper versions. This one here is one we're just about finished up with. This is the M1D. This has this is the reproduction M84 scope, but it is the same as what was used on the originals. This one is, of course, new barrel, new parkerizing, new wood, new finish, and everything. I've got to put the cheek piece on here. The M1D had a cheek piece for the side-mounted scope that they used, and the M1D came into production late in World War II and was used mostly in Korea. World War II, this is what was used mostly in World War II. This is the 03A3A4, and basically what they did, they took the 03A3, they took the sights off of it, they put on Redfield base, and then they used whatever scopes were available, and basically it was like this one here. This is a Lyman Alaskan, and they used this scope here, and they also used the 330 Weaver scope. And I don't think I've got a Weaver to show you right now. And like I said, this one was what the Army used, and the Marines used something a little bit different. They used, instead of the 03A3, they used the regular 1903 Springfield. The 03 is the one that's got the sight ahead of the receiver. And what the Marines did, they drilled and tapped the receiver in the barrel, and they put scope blocks on there so that they could use an inertial scope. This one here is a reproduction of an inertial, but this is, I think, a Malcolm's scope, which is the same as what the inertial 8-power was. And this is another example of what we build here. We try to keep everything just as close to politically correct as possible. With the M1s, basically the M1 was 30-06, but they did build a few in 308 for the Navy. We also build one of those, an M1 in the 308 for the die-hard Navy guys. We also, here's one that's coming along. It's work in progress. This is an old 3040 Krag. This is in a carbine model. We've got a rifle model too, but this one here will, of course, both of them will be shooters when we get done with them. But we're not really into the collecting of these guns, because most of the time your collector guns, that's something that's just sat on the wall or hung on the wall, and and looked at the stuff that we build. We design it for people that want to take them out and shoot them. And so we build all this different kind of things. We also not only build them and sell these, but a big part of our stuff is rebuilding the things that customers have. A lot of times somebody will bring in an old M1 that's barrel is all shot out and that, and we carry a lot of parts on hand, new barrels for all these guns. We can rebarrel them, get them back into good shooting condition. We've got basically all the different parts for them. Parts, sights, replacement stocks, and about anything you can imagine. So if you're into vintage military rifles and you want ones that shoot, we will fix you up with whatever you need. Thank you.